Yo, what's up? Oh, wrong screen. Let's go to this one. Yo, what's up? It's your boy, Trader Pratt. We're here. We're back live on this wonderful Wednesday. I guess it's not that wonderful because the market was absolutely selling off big time. The ISM numbers, the PMI numbers coming out pretty bad. I think there was 9:45. There was a number. 10 o'clock. There was a number. Both of them coming out pretty negative for the market. The Canada interest rates came out. They were pretty much no change. We thought there could be a possible rate hike in the Canadian interest rates, but no rate hike on that one, which is actually a good indication, honestly, on that side. But a couple factors coming in, pushing the market down. Overall, we ended almost down 1% on the tech basket, which is the QQQs, and the SPY basket ended about 0.6, 0.7, if I remember correctly. We will go through those charts. We'll find out, what really happened in the market, how the S&P 500 started trading below 45,000, and obviously below 45,000 opens up a lot of room for the market to really push down a little bit lower to find those levels. So a couple moves here and there, a couple trades here and there for ourselves. We'll talk about our trades that we made, the winners, the losers, and how maybe we could possibly look for some opportunities to make some money tomorrow. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere. Lots to talk about. Welcome to the Patty Daddy Show. Now, let's go directly to the screen. Why does that ad keep showing up? But yeah, don't forget to hit the like and support, like and subscribe, as that text from your mom just showed up on that screen. Let's go to, however, our watch list that we've created right before going live. I want to talk about, my trades, earnings from today that came out after hours, earnings from earlier this week, such as Zscaler, Gitla, Asana, the most active stocks, some of the gainers today, some of the losers today, and some other notable, mentionable stocks that, maybe we can take a look at, possibly find some trades, possibly find some levels. I'm telling you right now, that trade right there, we're not going to find some levels to trade on, but we'll take a look at it. We'll take a look at it because it just went absolutely wild today. All right, let's start off with my trades on the day. Here, I'm going to start off with my losers, right? Because that's the best way that people can learn from. We'll start off with our losers. We were looking at Zscalers yesterday for that earnings move. We were surprised with Zscaler popping up to 170 or so, and then pushing back down after all. Today, pre-market, pushing even more lower, opening around 160, pushing as low as 153, 154 to the downside, and then at the end of the day pulling back up to the north side and clearing 160 and going up to that 164, 165 area, which is exactly where we had levels mapped out already on this position. So pretty much going up to these areas, clearing these areas slightly, and then giving you that beautiful short around these areas off the open is Zscaler. Insane moves. First it looked like it wanted to just continue to the downside even after positive earnings report and positive guidance for full year and the next quarter. And look, it did end negative overall. After earnings report, it still ended down 2.7% after positive earnings report, still ended down 2.7%. So Zscaler getting hurt today. It did look like it wanted to get back above yesterday's high and really push above yesterday's high, but didn't work out. And it honestly got trapped on that move. I thought about taking that yesterday's high / pre-market high break with the stop around this 160 area. Didn't really have to worry about it as the stock started popping up. Took my profits. I even added to the position. This was the problem. I added to the position, and then I got stopped out over here on the average of my position for basically break even, and then another quick little trade for a flat little trade, basically try a long over here. Didn't work out. Said I'm done trying to look for longs on Zscaler. Clearly the stock does not want to stay up after positive earnings, and gave up on our overall idea, overall thesis. The market's clearly telling you something different. But the market does not like the earnings report that came out from the stock, even if they're good. That we don't care. So now we're looking for possible buys around this 155, 156 instead, for a possible move back up to this 52-week area. That's not the 52-week area. Remember, I told you that, but it will be very soon once this data disappears and this data comes into play. So looking for these triple tops, quadruple tops to get retested once again after finding some buying around these areas. So look for longs tomorrow around 155, 156, and also if we do push back up to 165, 164, possible area to look for shorts off of those areas on Zscaler, as we've seen those trades already show up. Now, the next one I want to talk about is GitLab. The opening range on GitLab is just, oh my god, what was the stock today? The stock was so wild. The opening range was nasty, almost made me want to puke. But hey, I got pretty good trades on board, if you want me to be honest. I took the long, I held it for profit, right? All the way into pretty much resistances that the stock has traded in. We knew those resistance areas, we had those mapped out. We had a level at 54.50, today's high at 54.38. The stock is not able to clear out past that 54.50, 54.30 area, a level that we have mapped out, also a level that it struggled at, and in the post-market session when the numbers actually came out. Horrible execution. My eyes just lit up. I just saw the dollar signs, and you know, I traded this one pretty damn poorly today. I thought it was gonna break. It didn't. I held it all the way through, did not have a stop out, and then at the end I had to punch out much lower than I wanted to. And then I try another long over here because I got a little bit of FOMO. I was like, I can't watch this stock go up and not be involved in it, because you know I love GitLab so much. I talk about GitLab so much, so I was a little upset. So I tried to get back in there with the tight stop, got stopped out. Then I said, you know what, forget it, I'm not trading the stock anymore. But look, that level coming right back into play, that 54.50, that same triple top, quadruple top, 1 2 3 4 5 penta top, whatever you want to call it, coming right back into play, putting that barrier into this position and shoving it right back down, ending pretty much around where it ended yesterday. So if we are looking at if you're looking at the GitLab now for possible trades tomorrow, you know, I'll still be bullish. You guys know how I have this stock in my long-term portfolio. You know, but it's sad that the market really sold off. Market really got crushed, and then GitLab got crushed along with it. Still up 0.5% on the day, as you guys can see. It was at 1 point negative on the day, pulled almost as low as yesterday's low. And finding support around yesterday's lows, giving it some buyers, pushing right back to $50. Looks like we might have some trades over here around the $50 area on GitLab. So looking for some buying around GitLab for 50, move back up to 51.50, and then for next week a move back up to 54.50 or so, as I still believe in this move. But pretty insane sell-off today across the board, and GitLab just following suit with that sell-off. All right, so that's my trade. Got trapped up, got too greedy, thought that my level was gonna break. My level didn't break, and the market just screwed me over completely. Nvidia, these were quick scalps. As you guys can see, today's thumbnail, we got Mr. Lieutenant Aldo Raine, where he talks about how he wants his 100 scalps. Not gonna say what 100 scalps before I get demonetized. I'm not even monetized, because you guys don't watch my videos or actually come and watch my live streams. So that's a whole different case over there. But you know how Mr. Lieutenant Aldo Raine talks about how he wants his scalps. That's how we put in some scalps over here on Nvidia today. Got long, quick tight stop right around this 470. You can see that 470 area. We were selling off. I actually was looking at that 480 short today, but missed out. That 480 short originally wasn't clean. The second time when it broke back to 480 was a little bit cleaner, and a beautiful ride to the downside. We were talking about it on yesterday's stream. You want to look at these $5 to $10 increments on Nvidia, 480, 485, 490, and that 480 giving you a beautiful short all the way down. I should have been able to even take that 475 short, the every $5 increment. See how it goes. This is the 1 minute chart. See how it goes all the way down to that 475. Kind of has a little bit of a bounce in front of 475, and then immediately nosedives back right to the downside. So I should have been ready to take that 475 short. I don't know why I didn't do that. Did try some longs at the end of the day near 470. quick little scalp, got $1 out of it for risking for like what, 50 cents, so a nice 2R win, and then got stopped out on my last few shares. Then I tried some shorts over here. I got like almost a move similar to this long over here, but this was a way tighter stop, so the R to R win was tighter. So nice little quick R to R scalp wins with a little bit of a market beta move behind it to help me get that win. And if the market was really going to flush or really going to pop, then these longs or these shorts were going to be even bigger of a R to R win. So that's the reason why I took these trades over here. Nice little quick little scalp sees. Once again, let's go to the thumbnail over here. I want my scalps. And this is a shout out to the next stock that I'm talking about. One of my best trades today. A monster short of a 3R win and a monster long after for a 6R win. So here's the trade. You can see right there around $2 and what is that price? Around $2.30 or so was the high day for NBSE. I start building into a short with the risk of the high day, which doesn't really comes into test. Starts pushing down to $2 and slightly below $2, taking that profit. Quick little 3R win, and I'm out of this trade. The reason why I'm out of this trade, before I even tell you the reason why I am out of this trade, we will tell you first why we got into the trade. Okay, NBSE. So shout out to Trade Ideas. Shout out to Trade Ideas. This software right here. You're only seeing the charts right now, but my scanners on Trade Ideas alerted me to a stock that was moving pretty drastically crazy with the volume out of this world that the stock has never traded before. You look at that, like 100 million shares today on this position. Insane. The stock previously trades what, 2 million shares, average 10-day volume of 11 million shares. Today's shares is 106 million shares. So monster increase on the relative volume scale. And we were looking at it on the trade floor right around this 140 150 area. It starts popping, goes through 2, and we were like, hey, I think we missed the trade because it takes out the pre-market high. It's through this 150 160. We might have just missed the trade. We're out of this at this point. You know, we just kept it on the side burner. While we keep it on the side burner, the stock pulls up to this on the daily chart. I'm looking for levels on the daily chart. It pulls up to this previous day level over here, and also right around the 200, is it 200? 100 period, sorry. The 100 period EMA on the daily chart right around $2.27 up to $2.40 or so. So right around this range. I'll be honest, I didn't see this bottom, so I'll remove that line. So it was right around $2.27 and really starts rejecting $2.27. You can even see that on the tape, directly on the tape of the stock. $2.27 really starts rejecting, and that was the high of the day. So I build into my shorts and I pull back down over here. But right around this $1.90 or right around $2, the stock's not going any lower. You'll see the tape of the stock really push down, but the stock doesn't really push much lower than, you know, $2, $1.95, $1.96, $1.97. Instantly goes above 2, goes to $1.95, $1.96, goes back above 2. So I don't like the way it keeps trading there. Take out most of my position. I'm out. Now the fact that it's showing me, you know, buyers showing up around this area. Clearly this wasn't the short, so now I'm ready to take the high day breakout long. Flipping my mindset on this position. High day breakout long. I punched long. This is probably a bad entry, but I say it's a bad entry because I bag held it. I bag held this entry. The better way to trade this would have been, you know, take that entry if you really want it. But the lack of follow through, how far did it go? You are long on the break of $2.30. It goes up to $2.33 and then just immediately pulls back down. You should have basically had to stop right back in somewhere around this area. And I'm talking to myself when I'm in third person over here, but you know, I should have had a stop over here right back into this area as it peaks back through this previous day's high or gets back below $2.20. I get stopped out, take that quick 10-cent hit instead of taking a bag hold all the way down where I'm now holding a stock 28 cents against me, I believe, as it pulls all the way down to $2. Instead of punching out at 2, the fact that the stock has shown me so much buyers, higher lows at the moment, I punch in more of my position to kind of average down my overall position. I was okay with the share size that I have, because even if I lost on this trade, it was, it's fine. The risk to reward made the perfect sense to me. So I had my stops ready, sent out, ready to go, and based on my stops and based on how the stock was getting ready to push up to the north side, we got a monster 6R winner on there. So as you guys can see right there with this beautiful thumbnail, monster 6R bagger trader. These are the longs, and out. And the reason why I got out right around this $3 mark is I wanted to hold for a bigger trade. I wanted those halts to come in, possible halts to trigger on this position. Halts did not trigger for some reason. Whoever was gaming this position knew exactly what they were doing, and they would pull back the stock right before it was going to halt. And so as soon as it comes back before 3, I punch out, take my profits, and sadly the stock never really comes back above 3. And in the after hours, if you're looking at what the stock did today, right back at $1.90. Right back to $1.90 today in the after hours, sadly. But 106% with 106 million shares traded on the day. Whereas the float of the stock is only... What's the float of this position? 1.42 mil. So 100 million shares traded of a stock that only has 1.42 shares float out there. So there was a lot of chances for you to get in and out of this trade, which is great. That's exactly what you want when you're trading these low caps, small caps, small float stocks. But you can also get really burnt on these positions if you're not trading them properly. The short was perfect right around this $3. The failure of $3 short, I wish I had that, but I wasn't ready to trade it again after taking that beautiful scalp short and taking that beautiful scalp long afterwards. Tomorrow maybe we have some plays on this one. We'll take a look at it, but for now I think we'll just have to leave this one aside unless there's insane volume tomorrow. If there's another 100 million shares coming in on this position, then yeah, we'll have to take a look at that one at that point. Got spanked on Nvidia today, says Dan Gilman. Ooh, Nvidia was pretty insane to the downside. I could see that happening. I'm sorry that went that way. Wow, man, I wish I had looked at that chart this morning. I'm guessing you're talking about GitLab at that moment. Wait, isn't that Brad Pitt from Tank? Bro, it's Brad Pitt from Inglourious Bastards. Come on, that's not Tank. Yeah, Inglourious Bastards, where Brad Pitt's talking about his 100 scalps, where he wants his 100 scalps. Thumbnail game strong. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I've been putting in a lot of work in this thumbnails. But guys, that's honestly all it takes, right? Looking for these 3R trades or more than 3R trades will keep you afloat from allows you to take a little bit more losses in your trades, and you don't really need that big of a win rate. For example, if you are only taking trades that are 3R or above, you only need a 25% win rate on the day to break even. Maybe you're paying commission, so maybe not break even, but you only need 25% win rate to break even if you're only trading stocks with 3Rs and above. How can you expect a stock that's giving you 3R? You really don't really know at that moment. But at this moment, when I found that trade, the high day 227 right here, high day 227, the 100 period EMA on the daily chart 227, the stock pings 227 on the 5-minute chart, pulls back, goes back to 227 again, pulls back. So my risk to reward is so tight. I'm risking 227 plus another 3 pennies, 230, plus another couple penny slippage, let's say 231, 232, 233, right? Maximum 5-7 pennies over here on this short for a possible return back to VWAP. That calculation alone right there is more than 3R, because I'm risking 5 to 7 pennies for more than a 5 to 7 penny return. So I'm willing to take that trade. The expectancy of the stock to go back to VWAP is much more than some of the stocks that you might be trading out there with only, you know, where the move to VWAP compared to how much you actually should be risking is 1:1 or 2 or you know 2:1 trade. So when you look for these 3:1 or more setups, it allows you to, you know, be more wrong in your positions, and also you can clip your trades quicker, take your losses quicker, and you can always come back to them. So shout out to this trade allowing us to look for those opportunities today. I thought this could be more than a 3R bagger for myself. Sadly, it was only a 3R bagger, but the fact that buyers showed up at 190 allowed us to get a 6R bagger over here to the north side. When we were only risking 15-ish or so cents, we got more than 15 cents to the upside over here. So that's a pretty clean trade for us. Do you trade still with P Pro and Day Trade the World? Yep, still with P Pro and still with Day Trade the World. It's just a different Day Trade the World office at the moment. All right, so now that we've stroked our ego enough on this position, why don't we go to a couple stocks that moved around today after hours with earnings. So let's start off with, let's go to our trusty watch list. Let's start off with AI and also pull up Benzinga. So AI over here, no, don't want to look at the move at all. Don't want to look at how the stock moved. Wow, I have so many lines on the stock. You know what? We're gonna do ourselves a favor and we're gonna delete skis. These line skis. Do we want skis? Yes, we do. Screw skis. We're gonna delete all those lines. Screw it. F it, chat. We're gonna delete all those lines. We're gonna have to repaint some new lines over here. So let's do it real quick. 1 year chart. Because we like the 1 year chart, the daily chart. We like some of these peaks, so let's paint some of these peaks over here. I already see this bubble on the bottom says green, so that means the earnings are probably a beat. So we'll take a look at that pretty quickly in a second over here. Just trying to map out some ranges, some levels that I might be possibly interested in. Not sure if that even works. Don't even like that. Okay, there's something here, but I don't think the stock falls down there on positive earnings report, does it? Okay, you know what, we'll just throw it down there just to be safe, because anything is possible. And I want to put something here just to be safe. I want to put something there. That balance, that hold. Look, we popped up, we came down, and we held these few days, and just for those 2 days of holding, boom, we take off. So something over here shows me that there could be support around 25, and these bottoms over here, multiple bottoms, we tested under that bottom a little bit, and then we broke out, and then that pump came up. So these levels I'm pretty interested in. That level I'm interested in. These triple top breakouts and the triple top rejects I'm pretty interested in. And then we got some levels over here. Now before we look at the how the stock actually moved in after hours, let's go to our next affiliate sponsor on the day today will be Benzinga. So check out all of my affiliate sponsors down below. Benzinga, Trade Ideas, Trader Sync. Use code PRAD15 to get 15% off on Trade Ideas, and we'll get you codes for all the other affiliate sponsors too. But here's AI. Looks like AI earnings is a beat, and sales is also a beat. Total revenue coming in with 72 to 76 million for the next quarter. Yeah, for the next quarter compared to 73.81. So I guess, you know, their estimates range is within the estimate of I guess Refinitiv or whoever it is of the analysts. And the full year revenue to be 295 to 320 compared to 308. So their ranges are a little, you know, I don't really like their ranges. Their ranges are not really too hot over here compared to the estimate. So that's a little bit of a question mark. I guess you could say inline guidance for the future, but they did beat earnings report. And looks like I'm seeing red numbers over here. And looks like the stock actually did drop after hours. So I didn't want to look at it just to not see where the stock went, but we got all the information that we needed, and let's go to see the stock. Looks like we pretty much nailed that bottom of 28. Where does that 28 bottom come from? We just put these lines in. I don't even know where these lines come from. Oh, so the recent range low. The recent range is low, which was what, 25th August low of $28, coming right back into play on a positive earnings report, but the guidance wasn't really the best. And if AI or C3 AI is going down, there's a good chance that it's other stocks like CXAI, BFAI, all these other AI stocks could possibly swing down along with them. So watch these positions tomorrow. But at the moment, AI itself is on hand for the topic. So let's just talk about this one. We're looking for possible trades. Looks like this could be, what was that number that we saw? Like down 7 some odd percent after hours. Was that the number? Change since published. Yeah, 7.79%. Is that true? Where did we close today? We closed 31.46. 31.46. And we ended, yeah, pretty much 7% down, holding currently at this $29 area. Nice little triple bottom on the 1 minute or on the 5 minute chart. Okay, nice little triple bottom at this $29 on the 5 minute chart after hour session. And also we got that $28 bottom that comes in from the 25th August low. So possible break of 29, possible break of 28. What happens when the stock goes to $28? Is that SSR? Is a good question. Come on. Well, come on. Let me put that marker down. There we go. So if we go to 28% or $28, that's about 11% almost. What is the 10% marker? The 10% marker will be right around $28.31. It is the price that the stock triggers SSR. Possible dip buys around that $28.30 to $28 coming in for your long scalpers, for anyone interested on that. But overall, looking for a possible short straight through 29 all the way to 28. Any pop that the stock shows back to 30, back to $31, we want to look for those shorts on that level. Yeah, the earnings was good, but the guidance not really the strongest guidance in my opinion. Strong traction with AI application, new generative AI suite coming out, but still stock slides on Q1 earnings report, sadly. People coming in, where's my cheese? What's going on, brother? How you doing? Today I was looking at volume weight moving average compared to normal EMA. Your thoughts on that, and also why you use EMA instead of SMA on daily TF and higher. So simple moving averages are I think they take in more older information compared to exponential moving average, which takes more relevant information. I did not know this. This was actually told to me by my co-host at my previous employer, Sharif. He was doing examination or was studying for the CMT examination. I don't know if he did it or not, but according to his study for that examination, he found out that EMAs take in more recent information compared to SMAs, which is great for day traders, right? So I'm a day trader. I need more recent information for the most relevant trades that make sense in the next 30 seconds, in the next 1 minute, in the next 5 minutes, in the next 1 hour. So that's a good reason over there. But when it comes to what was your other question? Today I was looking at volume weighted moving average, volume weighted VWAP, volume weighted average price. Sorry, yeah, VWAP is average price. I was brain farting over there. Volume weighted average price, but you were looking at volume weighted moving average. That's pretty cool. Moving average, I guess the same thing, right? VWAP. Are you just talking about VWAP? It's like VWAP, but it's not anchored. Okay. So just regular VWAP that just shows you of whatever is on this chart, I guess. Yeah, I have that too right here. You can see VWAP coming in. Whatever you have on the chart, the regular VWAP. There's only one formula. It should basically be the same. I have that too, but I use anchored VWAP. I use another software. What are my opinions about anchor volume weighted average price? Very, very important. You know, it's one of the most important indicators out there, and all day traders or even swing traders, whatever trader you are, you need to be looking at volume weighted average price. I'll probably be making a video in the future as to why volume weighted average price is so important, and my friend Michael Noss has expressed its importance a lot. Even our friend Brian Shannon has expressed its importance a lot in his book about anchored VWAP. So volume weighted average price, anchored VWAP, however you want to use it, pretty important. Your VWAP is a daily, so restart daily, so it is anchored daily. Yes. Well, this one on this is a session, high, low, close. So yeah, you're not wrong. I need that book for sure. Yeah, anchored VWAP book is muito bueno. I like it. I need to finish it though. I need to finish it. I do use the indicator quite a bit. Recently I've been looking at you know, anchored VWAP from earnings, which is a great indicator. So why don't we look at an example for that, for a stock that had earnings sometime last week or so. For that, we're gonna quickly go over to our Discord. Go to our Discord, go to earnings calendar, and we can quickly pull up a picture of a stock that had earnings last week. Why don't we go to Best Buy or NIO, right? Trade ideas, use code PRAD15. Let's go to NIO real quick. This is the stock that had earnings last week. Throw in the anchored VWAP from that earnings day, and let's see how the stock is now currently trading on the 5-minute chart based off of the anchored VWAP. Hello? Thank you. So the anchored VWAP is, where did that go? It should be a purple line somewhere, unless it changed to a blue one. No, there should be a purple line somewhere. Just don't see it at the moment. That's strange. But you can see it on the daily chart. A little bit laggy. It's probably my internet. Come on, internet. Why are you lagging me out over here? Oh, is this that chart? That chart's dead. Awesome. We'll show you guys this in a bit while I just reload my layout. Load layout from cloud. Why don't we go to we'll go to this layout. Yeah, we'll go to this layout because this is my layout that shows me the trades like NBSE today. So we'll go to this one, and we're talking about NIO. We want to take a look at NIO's, where is that earnings? You don't even show me the earnings day anymore on NIO on this one. That's great. Oh, that's right, because in the 5-minute. Let's go to the daily. Bang, anchored VWAP, bang, and you see the anchored VWAP right there. There's like a little purple line showing us. It's showing us resistance right around 10 or so. And if we were to go to the 5-minute chart, it should show us the anchored VWAP now. There you go, the anchored VWAP, that purple line showing us that the stock has pretty much resistance right around this, what's that price point, 1060 today. Never really got above it later on in the day from 1 o'clock or so. Pretty solid resistance around that. And if you look at it on the daily chart, the stock has struggled from $11 to $11.50 and not really able to get above it. 11 to 11.50, 11.33, struggled, pulling right back. Support, wow, we nailed the low today. We nailed the low. Could have gone long off that 1046. It's like our lines are just perfect. I have to set up my PC. See you all tomorrow, says Cody. Have a good night, my friend. See you tomorrow. Let's get back to our track over here. We got sidelined a little bit. Let's get back to track. Look for those trades. So AI, we looked for some trades already. We have that mapped out. So let's put it into our notes. We like that shorts off of 31. We like the shorts off of 29 and possible longs off of 28. So these are the 3 levels we're going to put down. Next stock that we want to head over to is going to be PAT. UI PAT. Looks like their earnings report originally looked negative, but later on blasted off to the north side. So let's go see how their numbers are. They did come out with a positive earnings report, estimated 3 cents. They made 9 cents instead, and a decent beat on the earnings report too. Let's go check out what UiPath's what is it? Guidance is. And looks like their guidance is 313 million to 318, whereas the estimate is 315. So pretty much range is in line. Full year 2024 guidance is higher revenue than estimates. So they're estimating a higher revenue for next year, and that might have just basically carried this position to the I side. I think this is a good catalyst overall. Now the question is, do we really push back in this 52-week higher ranges of 17, 66, 18, 19, $20 highs over here? Looks like we kind of struggled to even push up to the $17, $80 area, $17.80 area after the earnings report. So I'm pretty interested to see what happens with this level, if we can push to that 17, 60, $18, $19 off of this earnings catalyst, or if we just push right back to the south side and just rain sideways. Not sure if there's going to be a trade for us tomorrow on this one. We'll keep it on the watch list. We'll keep it on the side burner, but very, very choppy on the upper end of these ranges. Like, we could easily get chopped up from 1766 to 1834, and I don't want to be involved in that chop. I really don't want to be involved in that chop. For me, a much cleaner trade will possibly be, if the stock gets above 18, traps the longs above 18, and then pulls back through 18 to the downside for a nice little short. Possibly could do that around 19 also, and could do that around 20 also. So I don't want to really get trapped in it, and for me to go long through it, I like to look for dip buy longs or breakout longs. And in that case, like, my only place where I would be comfortable with getting a nice little dip buy is back into these ranges. I'm not really dip buying the stock in $17 after it goes to 17.66 and comes back down, or after it goes to 18 and comes back down. I'm not doing that. So I'll only be interested if it really goes back down here below 16 as a dip buy. But for the most part, I'm just interested in possible traps being set up in these 52-week higher ranges, as the stock is not too far from it. That being said, the earnings report's not that bad. They did beat overall, and their guidance is to the positive side too. So the stock could easily burn the shorts and start breaking out to the north side, because I do believe they do have a pretty decent short float. So let's go check what the short float is for, what's it called, UiPath. Come on, bro, reload. You got this. For path, okay, come on, I'm a human. Yes, 11-10%. So it's not like those gigantic floats of 20, 30, 40%, but it's a pretty decent short float, 10%. You could see some minor squeeze coming in as the shorts over here that have their stops, or stops here or stops here, get tested and get burnt, and you get those squeezes coming in off those stops. That could happen, and we could get a new 52-week high, or we could just trap some of these longs. The stops get burnt, we burn the shorts, we burn the longs. At the end of the day, JPOW makes the money, right? So that's a possibility over there. So watch out for UiPath for those traps. I'm possibly not even gonna put it on. You know what? I'll put some notes in there. Only long at, what's that? Below 16. Okay, let's go to GME. Jimmy with the earnings report today. Not sure how it played out, but today looks like it was down on the day. 6 million shares brought in compared to 3 million average shares. Down on the day, struggling around this $19.40. We struggled around this area quite a bit. previously were supports. Now we're coming in as resistances around these $19.40, $19.50 or so on Jimmy. Looks like the earnings report was a beat. They were expected to lose 14 cents. They lost only 3 cents. And the revenue coming in slightly higher also. But the question is, do they guide higher? Looks like they are... What is it? Cash equivalents, marketed securities were 1.195 billion at the close to quarter. And marketable securities. So what does that mean? You have like $1.195 billion in cash and equivalents and marketable securities. So securities that you could sell or assets in another way. So you have $1.195 billion in cash or assets on hand, and highlights revenue beats, EPS beats, no conference call. Where is... Don't see any like guidance. Don't see any guidance. So I'm wondering if the stock is even gonna go higher from where we are today. Well, let's go find out if it did. Yeah, it looks like we barely got, like, we did get a pop. Don't get me wrong, we did get a pop, but notice how the stock ends exactly around those levels that we were just talking about, that 1940 area. Man, what am I doing here? Come on, ladies and gentlemen, this is insane, right? We were just looking at this level. We just talked about it, that 1940. We did not pre-script this at all. Okay, looking at the numbers in front of you live and calling out the trades and ideas, and they are playing out exactly that way. So barely did anything. Yeah, it popped up, but closing right back at that $19.40 in the after hours. Looks like this level might be very something important for us to watch out. We'll actually put down that only price in my notes for GME and move on from it and go to the next trade. Interested to see if buyers show up from 1950, 1940 all the way up to $20. Can we break out of these areas and then start punching up north, or do we start seeing rejections of this area and punch back down area? Punch back down lower. So looking for possible shorts through here or possible longs and breakout to add for the longs extra to the north side. So GME, something to exactly something to for sure not ignore. And the only price that I'm interested in is that $19.40 to $20 area. Charge point. I wanted to pull out the Prastradamus card over here by not looking at the stock price, but sadly we failed at that task right now. Charge point is currently looks like down quite a bit, down all the way to $6.30. $6.20 was the low of that move off of earnings, closing around $6.50, $6.45 or so at the moment. Let's go to the 1-day chart. Looks like we are basically heading to the all-time lows on charge point. So earnings miss, a new all-time low. 620 is the all-time low at the moment. Previous all-time low is 660, so possible bounce to 660 for us to short off of that area and ride it more to the downside. Looks like the stock could have also triggered SSR. Yeah, it's going to trigger SSR tomorrow. So I don't know about the SSR bounces. We know that Tesla is already going to be the king of the charging systems. So in that note, just don't even look for longs. I would just look for shorts on any pops, any sort of pops you get on charge point. Look for shorts, but most importantly, any pops, look for shorts. And I'm just gonna throw in that level. That level would be 665. Play doesn't really do volume, and yeah, it does have earnings, but I'm not too interested. Look at that, didn't really do anything in the after hours. I'm not really too interested to trade this position tomorrow, and I would honestly tell you guys to don't worry about looking at this trade. I mean, look at this stock. It's like, what are we gonna do with this position? There's nothing to do here. There's absolutely nothing to do here. So, it barely brings in any volume, and sometimes on earnings days it brings in a little bit more R-Vol than normally. But you're just asking to get chopped up. I would just urge you guys to stay away from it. And on that note, you know what? I'm just gonna practice what I preach, delete it from my watch list, and move on from it. Let's go to the next stock, AEO. AEO, we said we gotta have this one for a possible move like GES or how ANF did. They went all the way to the north side, breaking out to new 52-week highs and so on. ANF also did the same thing. So we thought maybe American Eagle, ANF contesting the 52-week high again, but sadly only 1.3 million shares traded today, whereas the average 10-day volume was like 3 million shares, so not really bringing in that volume at the moment. But ANF, I'm gonna quickly put it in my notes. Others, ANF, what is this area? 55 20s. As possible shorts for the intraday will be juicy. I'll like it. I'll take it. Break through 55, risking that 55.20 high or 55.40 high, and then you just enjoy the shorts. It's easy money. I like easy money. I don't know about you guys, but I like easy money. But the AOE apparently, which was at the 52-week high, is not going to be easy money for the longs, but instead it's going to be easy money for the shorts now. Wait. It originally pushed down, right? Yeah, originally pushed down off the earnings move, but later on is now up. So we'll have to wait and see. I guess a little bit of a confused move overall. We are currently at the yesterday's day's high, I guess. So possible areas to look for, that 17 to 1740. How is that right here, a little bit higher. That's the 52-week high right there. Well, not really. This was the previous 52-week high until we actually broke out 2 days ago. So this level very important to me, $17, and the 1740, 1750, possibly looking for a breakout of this area for a new 52-week high, or a trap around these areas for a nice little short back into the downside, back through 17. So I actually like this trade quite a bit. 17 to 1750 for possible long / short. Looks like a pivot. Pivot. How do you spell pivot, chat? Okay, now let's go to Zscaler. The stock was a little bit of we got bullied by the stock. We got trapped into this position over here, sadly. I got bored and I came back. That means a lot to me. Means that I am more interesting than whatever it is that you were going to do. So I'll take it. That's a dub in my book. Welcome back. Zscaler, we got hurt by the stock today. The only trade I'm looking for at this moment is a possible retest of this 164, 165 area for a possible short. And the only way I'll be looking for longs is somewhere around this 155s or so. 160 could possibly on board to keep on watch, but I'm not interested in getting chopped up at this 160 area. I think the best thing to do is just wait for that 165. 165 breakout could give you a move to 170, but for now it's giving you that pretty solid rejection of that 165 area. So just keep looking for that level, 164, 165 areas for possible breakout longs or breakout shorts, and this 155 area for possible dip buy supports or breakout shorts through that area too. Did I say that right? I think I said that right. I hope I said that right. Anyways, moving on to the next stock over here, GitLab, my baby. Sadly, you hurt me today very much. It didn't hurt me, let's be honest, chat. GitLab didn't hurt me. My greed hurt me. My greed and my want to the stock being a much bigger trade and a much profitable trade hurt me. But at the end of the day, we found other trades to help us out, so that was good. But GitLab over here, my greed just ruined me today. The fact that the stock actually, the body high of that candle was lower than the trend line that we put in yesterday, that's pretty insane to me. It's right around at that trend line high, pulling back all the way to yesterday's high around $50, or actually even lower than that. We went to 48.67, pulling back all the way to yesterday's low. Monster sell-off on GitLab over here, and closing around yesterday's high or yesterday's close, I guess, $50 or so. The question is, do we see buying coming in tomorrow? Hopefully the market's done selling off, but so far we've seen this trend of Thursdays being somewhat of a free fall Thursday. We do have a couple market events coming out tomorrow like we did today, so that's something to keep an eye out for. The 8:30 has an initial jobless claims. We also have crude oil inventory coming out at 11 o'clock, but those jobless claims are pretty important as Papa Powell and his friends in the FOMC committee are going to be looking at that initial jobless claims to see how to control inflation, right? How to control inflation with higher interest rates or lower interest rates and so on. And we'll see if the market goes higher from there tomorrow or lower from there, and if it can help GitLab. Can GitLab get some help? Get some buyers. 50 buying possible area, looking for that move back up to 53, 54, 54, 50, $55. Always a resistance on this position if we can actually punch back through this area. Nice little move up to possibly 60, but right now that area needs to show us a real punch through. So 54 slash 55, and then we have 50. ASAN, we did put the stock on our watch list yesterday, but we didn't really throw out any trade ideas because we didn't like we weren't really confident in it because we don't really trade the stock. But looks like we pretty much nailed the level over there. We've charted the stock out for you guys yesterday, and we nailed that level, the low of day today. Look at that, chat. Do I play it again? Do I play the same animation again? Maybe not. I'll hit this one. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe if you have not already for this free trade ideas, execution ideas, just throwing out for you guys every single day. So we put these lines out there for you, and looks like we nailed that bottom. You got a nice little short through that 20 if you traded it, and a bounce off of this 1867 or so. Congratulations for anyone who did take this trade. But I did tell you I did not have confidence on it. So if you did take it, you know, I take that congratulations back, because don't take any trades that I don't have confidence in. That's kind of stupid. That's kind of stupid. Right? But nice little bounce coming in right off of that February of this year's high. Now the question is, what happens going forward? I think the stock with you know how it's playing out with the earnings report. Yeah, the earnings report was a beat, but the guidance, I believe, was a little bit of a miss, and today's move not being appreciated by the market overall. We're possibly looking for a continuation on this move. Next move down to 17, and then after that possibly down to 16 or 15.50, however you want to look at it, back into these bottoms slash these tops for buyers to be retested. So we're looking for those drops incoming on Asana. The next stop over here, choo choo, all aboard. We're going southbound. Southbound train heading towards $17. So shout out to anyone who is short already, and if you aren't short, you can get possibly short on the break of this $18.50, $18 area for a ride down to 17. So now that our levels are actually showing up, now that our levels are actually showing up like they are working and so on, we can put to 18.50 to 18 as a level, and really not really looking for a long anywhere else other than 15.50. So we'll throw that as a long on that side. Ooh. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, all that time we only finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plays, and some of these plays over here are actually pretty good. I like some of these plays in here already, but look how many more stocks we have. So why don't we cut some of this list down, or we're gonna speed run through some of these lists anyways. We know that we're not gonna trade stocks like IonQ and so on, so let's speed run through some of these stocks as we can possibly look for some levels. Tesla's still not going to that 259, 260 area. I have my alert. You see that alert line crossing 259.11. Give me that alert. No alert going off yet, so no trade for me on Tesla. Possible dip buys at 230. Yeah, maybe 215. There's such a long room from where we are right now, long way down from where we are right now. There were some trades today with the way the market was moving to get short on Tesla. Yeah, that is something that you could look for. But I don't have a good track record on Tesla, so I try to only take the monster levels, like that 260 is a monster level, and I want to be involved in that ride up to 270, or sorry, ride back up to 300 if it ever plays. So I'm gonna be hands off on Tesla. You guys know that. But for those of you interested, we have a nice little support coming in right around this 235 to 240 area, and nice little resistance coming in around this 260 area. Apple, monster move on Apple to the downside today. That 190 came into play yesterday, but never really traded above 190 for too long. So we were talking about this 187. Looks like that was the spot to short. Oh man, I was looking at Apple, but I never really pulled up these charts, so I missed out on that 187 chart. Probably would have taken it if I had that line mapped out. Look at how it traded in pre-market over here yesterday, or sorry, yeah, that is pre-market. And pre-market around this price yesterday, opened around this price too, traded in pre-market around this price also on this day, and opened around that price and found support over here later on in that day. And over here, basically that price slash range had a lot of resistance slash support on this day. So clearly the stock has a lot of importance of this price going into last week and going into this week. 187 area, short through 187, giving you a monster short today. Sadly, Apple down 3.5%, moving all the way back into 182s. How do we see trades tomorrow? Looking for the same lines. I believe in my lines. I believe, I have faith in these trend lines and support lines that I have mapped out. So I'm possibly just going to be waiting for these lines to come back into play, looking for that 180, I guess, at the moment on Apple. See how 180 plays out, and looking for that 190 to come back into play on Apple. Wheat stocks are obviously very much in play again, but we were talking about how we don't believe Tilray has really any move to the north side. Like, I don't think Tilray goes to the $3.60 or $5. We said that yesterday, and that's exactly what happened. Tilray trapped some longs today and flushed all the way to the downside. I actually got trapped on the longs today on CGC. I took that breakout of what, 60-70 cents, and how did I lose on this trade then? Right there, that's where I got long right here. I got long 70 cents. I added on the 80-cent breakout. I got trapped, pushes down, and I lost on it. If I just had waited for the stock to trap people off the open, I swear half the times I lose money, it's because I trade off the open. Why am I trading off the open? Just stop trading off the open, right? But if I just had not traded the stock off the open, or any stock today that I had traded off the open, if I just had not traded it and just waited for my levels to come into play, CGC would have given me a long around this area that I would have caked on. Even GitLab would have given me a short around these areas that I would have caked on, or a possible long around this area that I would have lost and flipped short. Possibly not flip short, let's be real. I would have probably just lost and moved on from it. But yeah, just wait for your levels, guys. Just wait for your levels. Stop getting fancy, stop getting cute with whatever happens in pre-market. Have some faith in your own confidence in your levels. So that's Tilray. Wheat stocks are still back in play. CGC with the monster move at the end of the day, still up, and sadly I wasn't on it. I wasn't. AMD, I'm still gonna say don't trade it, but it was on the most active stocks on the day. Pretty much sideways, nothing really happening. Down 1.3%. That's because Nvidia was down, Google was down, Apple was down, a lot of stocks were down. Nvidia today, that 480 short, guys, we were telling you, Nvidia, you want to be focused on these $5, $10 increments. Look at yesterday's notes: 485, 480, 490, 495, 500. Sadly, I was only looking for the upside, and my rocket boosters were only aiming up. I wasn't picturing my rocket boosters blowing up mid-air, and you know, sadly, all the rocket fuel and the rocket engine and all the debris coming straight back to the ground and coming back to Earth with the power of gravity. I wasn't thinking about that. So engines failed. Houston, we have a problem. Nvidia pulling right back to the downside. And the 480 short, I wasn't ready to take that 480. I was looking at it, pushes through 480. I could have taken 475 short, and looking at it, didn't take it, chickened out, and I missed out on probably the easiest and the best trade of the day. cleanest trade of the day. $5 breaks, 480, 475. Not saying that these are real levels, not saying that these are pure levels out there on Nvidia, but sometimes it's really that easy. Sometimes it's really that easy to trade these stocks, and it worked out so clean. I wish I just had even taken some size. It would have worked out. What happens tomorrow is the question. The answer is honestly, I don't know. With these large caps, it's so dependent on other information from the market, such as the FOMC committee could randomly come out tomorrow and say something. We got initial jobless claims coming out tomorrow. Fed Goolsby talking at 11:45. Beige Book coming out at 2 o'clock. Williams speaks at what is that, at 3:30, so right before the market closes. Perfect, awesome, dude. Fed Harker comes out at 10 o'clock. Unit labor cost comes out at 10 o'clock. Non-farm productivity, these are all 2 stars, still something of an importance for the market. You saw how the market reacted to the 10 o'clock numbers today, the 9:45 and 10 o'clock. The market was chilling, la 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 la, and then bang, 9:45, 10 o'clock, market just absolutely pukes itself, right? So you want to be careful positioning yourself on any of these positions, on Nvidia, Apple, Tesla, Google, the Magnificent Seven, right before any big number comes out, because you can completely wiped out and use stops, especially if you're trading at the time that a number comes out. Tomorrow, I really don't know what happens. I would just have to trade these stocks around my prices or around my levels that I have mapped out, and also look at what's going on with the market, and look at what's going on with the tape of the stock itself, right? Tape of the stock itself. Now, that's going to be Nvidia. Snapchat, for some reason, was down big time today. Snapchat pushed a lot to the downside, down 7%. But do we really care about Snapchat? I personally don't care about Snapchat. I'm not going to trade it. Maybe if there is any importance for it. What was the news for the stock anyways? Don't really see anything other than this article. Whoever wrote this article is oh, Benzinga wrote that article. Okay. No, maybe not, but yeah, they were just promoting Benzinga Pro. So yeah, shout out to Benzinga Pro. That's what we use, but it doesn't really say exactly what is going on with Snapchat, other than the fact that it is down on the day, big time down, possibly pushing to some levels that you guys might be interested in. I really don't see any level other than the 52-week high. I'll just be waiting for that 52-week high, 52-week low. If that 52-week low comes back into play on this position, pardon me, as I am very exhausted. It's like, what, 9 o'clock in the night here? I woke up at 5 o'clock. Okay, I'm tired as hell. All right, Snapchat, Roku. Let's go to Roku. Did I even eat dinner today? Oh, I did eat dinner. Good. Yeah, I was tripping out. Roku moved pretty insane. They're laying off people. About was it 10% of their workforce, if I remember correctly? Yeah, 10% of their workforce getting cut, and after cutting 10% of their workforce, it allows them to now guide higher for their full year. If I remember correctly, if it was full year or maybe for the next quarter, I think it was full year. If I'm wrong, chat, tell me I'm wrong. I know you'll love to do that. So Roku did pop up pretty drastically, gave you longs throughout the day, but sold off later on when the market started selling off, and in the beautiful shorts. I was actually waiting for my areas over here at 94.50, 95 98.50, 99 areas, but those prices never really came into play, and just stayed away from the trade because I, once again, as Tesla, don't really have a good track record on Roku. Roku was actually on my no trade list, meaning I did not care what happened on this position. I used to never trade it after losing on it for such long periods. But now that I have more confidence with my risk management and so on, the stock can kind of come off of from the trade embargo over there, and we can start trading it a little bit. So today, sadly, did not push up to my level that I wanted it to, and I did not really care about doing anything other than shorting this 52-week high on this position. I did not care about going long either, as the market was just puking big time today, and looks like that was the right decision overall, and I made the right call on that one. Let's go to IonQ. Don't really trade IonQ. You guys know that. Not an IonQ type of trader. But if I can possibly give you some levels, that obvious 52-week high level stands out on a first glance. That 2014 area looks like we pushed pretty damn close to that 2014 and rejected right off of it. But the nice little trend line over here, you could paint a nice little trend on the 1 minute chart. Right, nice little trend on the 1 minute chart. Looks like we are holding up on that trend. Let's go back to the 1 day chart instead and see what kind of trend line can we paint this way. So that's a trend line that I'd be interested to see what happens on this position. Maybe we can throw one down there too, as we got a couple bounces before breaking down over here. So we'll throw those 2 trend lines for ourselves to keep an eye out for. Now I'm just getting fancy with these trend lines. That looks like a channel almost. So we traded in a channel, we broke out to the upside of the channel, we broke out to the downside of the channel, and now we are re-entering this channel, testing that 52-week high and testing the higher end of the channel too. So possible breakout of that 52-week high, going and tickling that channel high, and then peeking back down, and then absolutely trapping people. I don't know what I'm talking about. Listen, I don't trade stocks like these. I have no experience trading stocks like IonQ. I am absolutely throwing out guesses at the moment, as that is what I love to do. I'm trying to rhyme over here, okay? I'm just trying to rhyme. But let's be very honest with ourselves. I'm not going to be trading this position. And if you are, off of my words, if you lose, don't blame me. This is a not financial advice, especially when it comes to this position. That 52-week high breakout long possibly could also pay out and launch up to the north side. Possible shorts off that 52-week high traps. That's what I'm looking at. IonQ. Another stock that moved around today. AYX. What is this stock? Alteryx? Is this that clothing company? No, it's not. Okay. Data analytics, like Palantir, allows organizations to prepare, blend, and analyze data from multiple sources and benefits from data-driven decisions. In 1977, okay, in Irvine, California. Okay. So yeah, something like Palantir, I guess. AYX popped up pretty monsterly to the upside today. Was there any other catalyst for it? Alteryx exposure sale. Oh, okay. Potential sale after takeover interest. So it looks like they are thinking about getting sold. Fierce competition from big rivals such as Microsoft and Oracle, as well as setbacks in winning new businesses, have suppressed Altria's valuation and made it an acquisition target. Its shares have almost lost half their value. Blah 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 blah. What do you do? Why is Microsoft your competitor? How is Microsoft your competitor? Your partners are Coca-Cola, Walmart, Ford, and so on. You just analyze data, and Microsoft and Oracle are your competitors, I guess. Whatever. So a nice little pop-up on the idea of possible sale incoming. There was another stock that did this recently and then had an earnings report. That ticker is Centennial 1. God damn, my memory's so beautiful. So Centennial 1 popped up on the possible news of sale over here. That was this day, and then earnings report coming in and taking that stock right above that range. So we're gonna go right back to AYX. Looks like it's doing something similar, popping right back into previous levels, and we're getting rejected off of that previous level already. Very interested to see how the stock trades from this $34.70 to what is this $36 area, today's high. If we can get a little bit more oomph to the upside based on that possible sale talks, or does it get rejected off of this previous high, or sorry, previous low, and then start trading somewhere above 31 but somewhere below 35. So those are the levels that I'd be watching out for on AYX. Now, I won't be trading it though, I'll be honest, because it's a no volume stock, and the catalyst is still very, very questionable catalyst. SE coming out with a nice move to the upside today, 5% pump up, but not really pushing anywhere significant yet, but we are getting to those price points. So this 40.67, which was a previous 52-week low, and I guess, a pretty significant 52-week low, because the stock hasn't really tested that price for a long time until recently. Previous earnings reports hurting the stock, bringing it right back down, and the latest earnings report kind of helping the stock find some supports at this $36 area at the moment. This is a gaming company, if I remember correctly. I think they create mobile games and so on. Oh, online games. Okay. Mobile games. Okay. There you go. Like I said, mobile games, and taking a nice little, sadly nice little hit off on their evaluation, but right now trying to get back into this 40-50 area. If the stock can actually pierce back through 40-50, get back above 41.50, then I think there could be some actual trades over here to take a look at. 41.50 move north could clear up some room for the stock to go up to 45. So that's what I'll be looking out for. 40.50 to 41.50 test. Dell was also pumping up today. Dell recently have earnings report. Having earnings report pumped up monsterly to a new 52-week high. And now we got a new 52-week high again being implemented off of today's move. So Dell looks like it wants to keep on climbing up north. We cannot ignore the stock around this price point. We did kind of ignore it yesterday as it didn't really push up above that price. But right now looks like it wants to pierce back through the 70-50, really go to that 71 or so. And to really find levels on this position, we have to, whoa, this is all-time high. I did not know that. Okay, so the Dell is really trying to go to a new all-time high price ranges at the moment, and any new price the stock goes to are new price points, so do not ignore it. New all-time high, 71 break long question mark. Even with the market moving the way it did, this is what Dell did. Held on its move. I'm pretty surprised, honestly. Very, very surprised on that one. Congratulations on the buying power. Let's head to this one and put in that anchored VWAP from earnings move. Did it go in? I think it did. Yeah, it went in. And go to the 5-minute chart. Kind of disappeared on us. Oh, there it is. Okay, so this is the anchored VWAP from the earnings day, and really never has the stock come down to test that area yet. I guess it tested it over here a little bit, kind of got close, but really that's just the lows of this day. That's just technically the low of that day. So supports around the low of that day, what, 67.60, 67.70, and longs through the 70.50, 71 area. So pretty interested in this trade tomorrow for some new moves to the upside. A couple stocks over here. Enbridge, I guess Enbridge, we'll actually talk about Enbridge. Enbridge sold off on the New York side pretty drastically yesterday, and we did not know why until our friend Dan Duval mentioned it to us. Shout out to Dan Duval. Not sure if he's in the chat today. He's not in the chat today. He mentioned it that it's because they bought 3 power plants from Dominion. So that's actually a good catalyst in the long run, in my opinion. You know, they got something that will help them make more money, but it did cost them a little bit of money in the long run, in the short run, sorry. So Enbridge over here, yeah, it sold off, but I think this will be a long over here. I mean, look at the move in the pre-market. Upside opened and pretty much stayed up all day. It tried to go higher, but it really failed, and the stock stayed down. And same thing happened on the Toronto side. Sadly, red moves on both of the markets. But I think on the longer time scale, if you zoom out a little bit, when in doubt, zoom out. A new 52-week low incoming off that positive catalyst. The positive catalyst bringing the stock down only because they are going to be out $14 billion on that new deal on acquiring these 3 new plants or whatever. Dan Duval is in the chat. He says, shout out. What's up, Dan Duval? Thank you for letting me know about that trade. So overall, we were looking for a possible shorts on Enbridge. Based off of our notes yesterday, if you go back to our notes, you'll see sell off on New York after hours, possible short on the TSX off the open. once Dan Duval told us that, no, we stood off from it, so we saved ourselves from getting hurt. That was good. Peloton was on the watch list for some reason because it sold off today over here apparently, along with Snapchat and Lyft. So we'll quickly take a look at Peloton, ladies and gentlemen. 666. Dan Duval knows that hidden joke behind the number 666. But 666 number coming right back into play for Peloton. Looks like that was the high day today. The devil's number coming in for this shitty company, pushing it right back to the downside. This was the previous 52-week low. Bang, bang, bang. And I think it was also the previous all-time low, if I remember correctly. Yeah, previous all-time low before these new levels started coming into play. So that 666 area, pretty important. Stock rejecting after creating a new 52-week low, after creating a new all-time low on this earnings report, pulling back to that previous earnings report, rejecting off that number, and then selling off drastically to the downside. Pretty sad that I did not have that number or that level on the watch list or any alerts on it. 666 level, because if I did, I would have easily shorted that stock for a monster risk to reward play. I mean, what, you're risking 3-4 pennies for a move all the way down to $6? That's 60 pennies. You take 5,000, 6,000, 10,000 shares, you're risking 3 pennies and you're getting 60 pennies of reward for it. Come on, dude. Monster trade over there on Peloton. Those are the type of trades we like to look for. Let's go to LYFT. Lyft, I'm never really interested in trading Lyft. You guys know that. I'm just gonna not waste my time over here because the stock just is stuck in ranges all day. So what boring ass trade at the end of the day. Not really too important. AYX, yeah, I don't think we want to take a look at AYX. IonQ, we'll leave it on the board because it is pretty interesting. I mean, no IONQ, Pratt, are you going crazy? IONQ, we'll put it on watch over here. The 2014 area looks a little interesting. Other than that, I'm not really too interested on IONQ. And then we got a couple other stocks over here that we just like to shuffle through and look at our levels. And then these are our main trades that we like to prepare for. Couple stocks that are obviously honorable mentions. NBSE again. The stock sadly did sell off quite a bit in the after hours, trying to see if it wants to find supports yet again at that $1.90, $2 area. So I'll throw a line down there if we do see supports coming in at $1.90 and $2 for another run up to the north side tomorrow. I want to be part in that run up tomorrow for another fun trade. I mean, the stock traded at 106 million shares today, whereas the stock never really does that on a day-to-day basis. So pretty interesting to me as to see what the stock might do tomorrow. Won't be surprised if the stock does absolutely no volume tomorrow also. Let's go to a stock that is pretty insane. Went from $36, $32. I think it was pre-market 36. What was that? No, 33. Yeah, 33.50, 33.60 or so. High a day today, and now it's at basically $3. So insane sell-off. Chinese stock, high tech. I guess they're not so high tech in that case, because boy oh boy was that insane move today. Was looking at it, was not going to trade it. There's no way in hell that I have balls to trade or something like this. Yeah, I mean, shout out to anyone who actually had that short. I know a couple people posted those shorts on Twitter. Not sure if that was paper trades or real trades, but shout out to anyone who actually took those trades. The stock pushing all the way to the downside, finding some support at the end of the day at the all-time low, at the 52-week low, right around that $4, and now creating a new 52-week low off that move. So insane move overall on HKIT. Tomorrow, maybe you can look for longs. I wouldn't trade it. But maybe being down 80% on the day, you could see some buying coming in. If it does get back through 4/411, I might be interested getting long off of 411, risking the break of 4 to the downside, or risking the new all-time low, which is today's bottom at $3.60. So giving it that much of risk for a possible move up, to $5, $6, which is pretty shit risk to reward. Honestly, it's like 1:1 risk to reward. So I'm not even that interested in taking that trade. These, ladies and gentlemen, are the trades for today. and trades for tomorrow, opportunities for tomorrow that I am interested in. Hopefully you have found some levels for tomorrow through this informative stream. Hopefully an informative stream. Once again, a quick look at the economic calendar. 8:30 we have initial jobless claims, so be careful for that one. Watch out for how the market moves off of 8:30, could dictate the move for the overall day. Fed Harker coming out at 10, a little important over there. We got crude oil inventories for anyone who trades oil markets, and then after that, nothing really happening. Tomorrow being Thursday, September 7th, will also be our last day stream of the week. Ooh. So shout out to that one. Quickly go to the after hours scanner. I've already been to the scanner for you guys. Actually, did I? Yeah. I already went to the scanner for you guys. I talked about all the stocks that looked pretty interesting. Any stock that moved around but didn't really bring in too much volume, I kind of ignored it. But yeah, looked like this stock is also in talks about a merger like AXY today is, and so on. So this stock popping up in the after hours, barely any volume, but a nice little pop up. But ignoring it. Moving on to the next one. IPO calendar. Like I said, getting hot. We got ARM Holdings coming out with their IPO in the North American market, the NASDAQ market to be specific. 95 million shares being offered, $47 to $51 price range being expected. Most likely opens up at $60. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it opens up at $55 to $60, and it opens up on September 14th. It's supposed to be September 13th. But they're saying September 14th over here on the NASDAQ website. So as we get closer to that date, we'll get more and more in depth with possible trade scenarios and trade setups for us. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I know I say this a lot throughout my streams. That's just because I'm just trying to make $1 or $2, trying to feed my family, trying to feed my kids, my wife, you know, and my 7 children. So for anyone who does want to support me, feel free to go check out any of these products if you want to use those products, that is. So Benzinga Pro, news network. I use it to find the fastest news wire hitting me. You know, it tells me about earnings, tells me about the economic events and anything that I need to know. So amazing service over there. If you click on that link, obviously, or any of these links, and buy the products, it helps your boy Trader Prad out a little bit. Trade ideas, make sure you use code PRAD15 at checkout. You get 15% off. And TraderSync, I track my trades daily with TraderSync. It helps you grow, it helps you learn where you're going wrong, and it helps you find out where you're making money, so you can put more money in areas that you're making money and then make more money. Makes pretty good logic over there, right? So go check out these over here. We'll be working on our merch store, so feel free to check it out for now, but there's nothing really in the merch store at the moment. And that's all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. That's pretty much all she wrote. Tomorrow, pretty interested on a couple of the trades that we pointed out, so make sure that if you are also, if you are just tuning in, rewind back, watch our stream back. I think we have some amazing banger trade ideas pointed out today. And for those of you who stuck around all the way from the start till now, hit the like button for yourself, not for me, not for some algorithm, not for YouTube. Hit the like button for yourself. Shout out to you for sticking around for the past hour and a half. I know my mom's annoyed because she's trying to go to bed at the moment. So I'm going to shut the stream down over here. I'm going to give my voice a little bit of a rest too. And I'm going to head to bed. So, ladies and gentlemen, good night. Don't let the bed bugs bite. And good luck on tomorrow's trades. Peace out. Adios.